Cybernetics.
Talk to him now.
AT, Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep. Trippin with Let's Go. Woo! Trippin with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theo so bold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Trippin with Theobold. Trippin.
What are we doing?
Trippin with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
Yo, mic check, 1, 2, we on. Are we on? Testing, 1, 2. Holla if you hear me. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the 98th episode of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold, and welcome. Yeah, 98th episode. So as y'all know, any episode that has a 6 or an 8 in it is going to be a special edition Trippin with Theobold episode, and you know it's going to be geared towards the 688 Postal Battalion unit, the unit that my grandma served in during World War II. And but yeah, let's go ahead and let me go ahead and I'm all over let me go and check my audio first, make sure I'm not sounding messed up right quick. I think I sound good enough. I think this will do. If not, let me know in the chat and I'll make adjustments, you know, because that's what we do over here, man. We just improve, baby. That's what we do. So let me go ahead and start with the first order of business. Before I go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and tell a friend and do all that fun internet stuff like the old people say. Right now, I'm trying to get to my agenda. Because, you know, I like to be professional. I like to make sure things is come on, Dre. I like to make sure things is flowing. All right, so here we go. So got my agenda going. And today's episode might be a little short because I have to run out to Anaheim to go do some jokies. So here we go. Let's go ahead and just get this thing popping. So, as y'all know, I'm a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. And I like to tie my episodes to a Buffalo Bill of past or present. So today's episode is tied to number 98, Mr. Star Lotulelei. All right, Buffalo Bill. I think he was drafted by either the Cleveland Browns or the Carolina Panthers. The Bills got him in a trade for one season. He played like 1 or 2 seasons with the Bills. Don't think he's on the Bills anymore, but he was a beast on the defensive front line, you know? So today's episode is tied to number 98, Star Lotulelei, and it's also tied to number 98. Why is my thing not moving? That's weird. Okay, my thing is, there we go. We're out of sync. Now we're back in sync. Yay. I'm so smart. There we go. And also number 98. I just had to put this guy up here, man, because I think he has a cool name. Number 98, Poona Ford. Poonaford. Poonaford. Also played defensive line, number 98. Think we got him from Seattle, the Seattle Seahawks. But Poona Ford, I just thought that was a cool name, man. That's one name I'm not gonna forget. Poona. It's all about the poon. It's like let me stop playing, man. Let me stop messing around here. So I got that out the way. Now, as y'all know, we got to do these tongue twisties to make sure that there's no trippage, or to make sure that there's less trippage in the show. So today's letter is going to be the letter C. Come on, Dre. Man, I'm up here double clutching like I can't cuss yet, but you know. So we're doing the third letter in the alphabet because as y'all know, today is September 29th, right? So if it's the 29th and there are only 26 letters in the alphabet, right? You guys are following, right? So I got to loop back around. So 27, 28, 29. So the third letter of the alphabet is C. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and read these tongue twisties. You guys can read along with me or watch me struggle. The choice is yours. The choice is yours, right? I like to give people choices here, right? You don't have to do as I do, but it's probably in your best interest if you do as I do. All right, so here we go. Tongue twisties. Here we go. C. Clean clams crammed in clean cans. Clean clams crammed in clean cans. Clean clams crammed in clean cans. New cheese, blue cheese, chew cheese, please. New cheese, blue cheese, chew cheese, please. I gotta stop moving my head like OJ, man. I'm doing that OJ acting. There we go. New cheese, blue cheese, chew cheese, please. Oh, I forgot to plug my thing on. I'll do it in a second. A chap chop chips. A chap chop chips. A chap chop chips. A cheeky chimp chucked cheap chocolate chips in the cheap chocolate chip shop. A cheeky chimp chucked cheap chocolate chips in the cheap chocolate chip shop. A cheeky chimp chucked cheap chocolate chips in the cheap chocolate chip shop. Last one, crisp crust crackles. Crisp crust crackles. Crisp crust crackles. And yay, we done with the tongue twisties. So I had a little brain fart in the middle, pardon me. I forgot to plug my show on social media. But what I'll do is after I go on, I'll just tell people, hey, to go check it out, when they get the chance, because right now we got to keep it moving. Got to keep it moving. That's what life's about, man. You make mistakes and you just got to keep moving. So what else we got? So, yeah, we are now officially in the fourth quarter, right? This is the last 93 days of 2023. This is the fourth quarter. Put up or shut up. This is where you got to make it count, people. This is where you got to make it count. All right. So, two things. I went to the gym today, and I'm getting my bench where I want it to be at. My goal is to, by the end of 2023, my goal is to mustache right there. Okay. Yeah, my goal is to be able to rep 225 10 times. All right. So if y'all know anything about weightlifting, that's 2 plates on both sides, 245s on both sides. I'm trying to get that shit 10 times. Right, to keep people off me. Right, I'm at the 7-minute mark. I don't know if I can cuss yet, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get my bench up to 225, 10 reps. Right now I'm at 5. Last week I struggled. Last week when I did it, I struggled a little bit. I got 4 up, and on the 5th one I had to have someone help me. I had a spotter, and the spotter basically did like half of the work. Man, I did about a third of the work. This week, I got 5 up on my own. I had a spotter just watch over me, have him just survey what I was doing, and I was able to get 5 up. But when that 5th one came down, I was like, it's not going to be a 6th one. It's not happening today. I bring this thing down, it is not coming up, and I don't want this young brother that's spotting me to throw his back out trying to pull this weight up off me. So, is what it is. I'm gonna test my bench at the end of every month. So end of October, I'm gonna try to get 7 reps. End of November, I'm gonna try to get 9 reps. And at the end of December, I want to have 10 reps. And in between, I'm doing like strengthening things to help me when I get to that bench. It's like nothing, But also I had to go back to my lists, I have a whiteboard here. You guys can't see it. Oh yeah, by the way, we're in a male hanger, an empty male hanger, and in honor of the 688 Postal Battalion, they cleared out all the mail. As you see, there's no mail here. Right? Male, high morale. All right, but anyways, now I have a whiteboard out here in AI space somewhere, and I'd write down things I wanted to get done for the day. Like, of course, I got my goals and stuff broken down into subtasks and all that fun stuff. And I have all my goals broken out. Everything is all spelled out nice and neat. But then when I went on my whiteboard, I would write it on my whiteboard, and I would cross it off, then I would wipe it off. And then I found out something very interesting. I found out that I was doing that for about 6 months consistently. Actually, about 4 months consistently. And what I found was it's as time goes on, it's like you get tired of writing stuff down and crossing it off, writing down, crossing off, and wiping off the whiteboard. Then the main thing is you don't have any you can't really see what all you've done all year. It's kind of like you just wiped it off, you know? So what I did was I have a notebook over here. I'm not going to get it, but I have a notebook, and I basically write my 10 things I want to get done each day, and I cross it off. And the whole thing is I want to be able to look back and see everything that I got done. Now, I still use my whiteboard to put up stuff at the last minute, but the notebook is key, right? Because it's like the cutter stone analogy, you know, if you strike in a cutter stone like 500 times and that bitch don't crack, you know, you got to keep hitting it, you know, with the same intensity every time. Just be consistent, keep hitting that rock, you know. So when it shatters, it's not the last hit that did it. It was all the subsequent hits and the last hit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like with the whole keeping notes, and not keeping notes, but basically keeping track of my tasks in my task notebook, I'm going to be able to see all the work I've done, right? And those days where you don't want to get 10 things done, you can look through your notebook and be like, man, I got 500 things done. So why am I going to stop? Let me go and make it 510 right quick. You know what I mean? Just a little tidbit. You guys can take that and apply that to your life if you want. If not, keep doing what you're doing. All right. So what else we got? Did that. Now we are on to the 688 portion of the show. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of, let me just get this off of here right quick. I don't want to show that anymore. So now, okay. So as y'all know, my grandma served in the 688 Postal Battalion during World War II, and her unit helped clear a backlog of mail over in the European circuit. And the last, I think episode 90, episode 96, we talked about, I wanted to unravel or uncover why the 6888 was numbered 6888, you know? And after talking with, Colonel Cummings and my mom and some other people, found out that that number, it's not there's no clear understanding as to why the unit got that number, right? Or how any unit in the military gets their numbers, right? Is it sequential? Is it symbolic? Is it transcribed to fit like a numerical code that means that if you take the numbers and map it back to a number, I don't know, right? That might be a good exercise. Let me go back and look at the alphabet characters associated with the numbers 6, 68, 88, or the hex numbers, like what hex value was that? I mean, all those things, right? So anyways, it led to a bigger discussion, right? Like me and my mom talked about this for a little bit, and we found it interesting that, a lot of people in the military in general serve under a unit number, and they have no idea how that number was conceived. All they know is, I served under this unit. It is what it is, And if you think about it, it's kind of like how we're assigned a name at birth. We don't have a name, right? Or we don't a lot of us don't know why we were named what we were named, Like we don't know the root reason as to why we received our name. All we know is that's our name, and it's up to us to do something great with it, But I'm still still curious as to how those numbers all came up. And this opened up basically another can of worms, right? Like I basically opened up a whole nother can of worms, and basically it's what I want to do, man, or what I want to see done. And if I can help contribute to that, or if I got to start it myself, is I want every military unit number, just everyone listed. I want every last one. And I want to just kind of have them like dumped out in front of me. And I want to be able to see, how these numbers were derived, like what was, like, we know that, like, what I do know is that, I got something new. I just have to move something out of the way. What I do want to know is, I want to know how, these numbers were derived. Because if you think about it, um, the government doesn't know when a war is going to happen, or maybe they do, but not like hundreds of years out. So, these numbers, these unit numbers are assigned based on need, right? Based on like military need. So, I want to like know, like, for example, it would be a good exercise, or it would be a dope documentary to kind of like know, okay, during the Revolutionary War, how were units assigned, or how were they numbered? And then in the War of 1812, what did they learn from in the War of 1812, what did they learn from the Revolutionary War in terms of need and how to number a military, right? And it would be kind of cool just to see the history of how numbered units got numbered, and then actually see all the numbers and all the units, like be identified. Because my thing is do we even know all of the units, right? Like, what if there were some units that got assigned and they all like perished in like a battle, or they all didn't, like, or they all got perished, or they all like, they all went away? Is that documented anywhere? Like, are those numbers? Cause I'm pretty sure that when you go to like a military gravesite, they have the unit numbers that they're associated with. But are all units? Do we know about all the units? Like, of course you got the special black ops and the Navy SEALs. You might not know about them, but are there units that, here's my bigger question. Let me just cut to the chase, right? So the bigger question is the reason why we know about military units because is the reason why we know about military unit numbers because, or is it due to the fact that they accomplished their task, right? Meaning that if their task wasn't accomplished, do we not know about them, right? It's a simple question, but I want to like make sure I have my facts and my receipts all lined up and in a row. So that's like one bigger question that I have with regarding the 6888, because I want to be able to see it'll be dope to see every military unit number just scattered throughout time, when they were assigned, what they did, and then to see how 6888's number got identified, and how it all fits in with everything else. That's what I want to see, and it's not a Google search answer. It's like you got to do some digging, and I got to get digging. So that's one question. I think I sip my water right quick. Man, oh, my voice getting a little raspy up here, man. Then another question I have that I'm trying to figure out is, with respect to the 6888 unit, or more particular with respect to Charity Adams, my question is, Major Charity Adams is, so I have a book here. All right, let me preface the question with a book. It's called Letters for Victory. All right, and it's the history of the first base post office during World War II. Right. So my question is, I do know that before the 6888, there were other units or other people or other groups that tried to solve the mail back order issue, or the mail backlog issue. So with that being said, the question is, was the standard, which is what I think this book is talking about, was the standard defined already, and were those groups before just messing it up and they couldn't get it right? And then did Charity Adams come in and just implement the process that was defined, or did that process not exist yet, or did that standard not exist yet, and did Charity Adams have a hand, or if not define the whole thing for what needed to happen, with respect to, creating a mail system to solve the backlog mail issue. So that's one big question I have. And like I said, I don't have any answers yet. I just have questions. But as I've learned in one of my reading classes, questions are the answers, right? We ask, you have not because you ask not. So we have to learn how to ask questions so we can get the answers that we want. But questions are the answers, right? Well, what else? Then my third question is how was so like for those of y'all that don't know, the 6888 consisted of 855 black women, and of these 855 women, my question is, like, did they all have the same role? I don't think they did. I think that, from my experience in the workplace, we had a thing at one company, we had this thing called lean electronics. It's called lean, Lean. And lean, basically, the whole goal is to eliminate waste. So quick story, we had when I first started working at this one company, we had to do lean training. And for our lean training, we had to go into this big conference room. It's about 100 people or more. And then they broke us up into tables of like 20 people each, right? So it's like 20 people at each table. And they gave us a task and said, go. And for an hour, we were trying to get this task done. And it took us, they gave us an hour. And after an hour, no group finished more than 10% of the task, right? Then they had the whole lean training presentation, and they explained what lean is and what it can do for us. And then they gave us predefined tasks where we all didn't have the same task. One of the main things we had to identify was, are there independent tasks? Meaning that can someone just sit over here and do a task like nonstop without having to rely on someone else to feed them anything? Right. And then what are the dependent tasks where someone has to wait for something in order to do something? And once we broke all that down and we assigned the roles to each of those people, man, we did the same exercise again. We got it done in like 10 minutes. So I'm wondering if there was some tie or synergy with respect to or similar philosophy with respect to the 6888 with, lean electronics, because lean is something that was invented by, Toyota, right? Back in the 60s, which is why Toyota cars are so efficient, right? Toyota cars are so efficient, or one major reason why they're so efficient is because they eliminate waste from every angle, right? Like wasted time, wasted materials, you name it, if they got too many people, you got to get out, So my question is, what were the different roles within the 6888? Because all we know is they were a group of women that went and backlogged or solved the backlog mail order issue. I said, why do I keep getting these words? They solved the mail backlog issue, but I want to know how they did it, right? So I'm asking more of the how, right? And there was, when we were at, I believe we were at King Edward School, which is one of the places where they stayed at while they were, sorting mail, while they were solving the backlog mail order, while they were solving the, why can't I get this out? At King Edward School, that's where they were staying at, where they solved the backlog mail issue. Lost my train of thought, man. I'm trying to get all those words out and lost my train of thought. Yeah. So I want to know when we were at the King Edward School, when they had a presentation for us, there was a table where they had the actual exam that the women had to take in order to see if they qualified to be in the 6888. And if they qualified, I think also based on their score, that determined, I think, what your role was within the 6888. So that's my big, those are my big questions. All right. Those are my big questions is what were the actual roles inside of the 6888? 'Cause I want to know exactly what my grandma did. Cause my grandma, when she was at home, when she ever got the mail, she was very particular with the mail. Like she had it set up in a certain way where you couldn't touch it. If you touched it, man, she would have a fit, you know? But I want to know what were the roles in the 688, like what exactly were all the hierarchies and who did what. I want to know I want to know the rankings, like cause like you never know, there could have been people that had higher ranks because they scored higher and they were doing like more managerial type stuff, and you had some people that had like a photographic memory and they could just do stuff like this left and right. Like I want to know how they broke all that down, you know. I want to know, you know, was the standard that was set up for the 6888, or was the standard that they followed, was it something that was there all along that wasn't being followed by the previous groups of people that were failing at the backlog issue? Or did Major Cherry Adams play a key in helping to define, you know, the standard, right? Or so that's what I want to know, like what all those little intricate details, you know. And of course I want to know how they got the name or the number assignment 6888. So like I said, I got a lot of questions. I'm probably going to have more questions, but right now I have no answers. And episode 96 to 98 was a pretty short gap, you know, but I think my next episode is not going to be until the next 6888 special edition episode isn't going to be until episode 106, right? So I have about 8 episodes to come back and find some answers for you, right? Because I don't want to just keep coming back and having more questions with no answers. I want to be able to come back and say, oh, look, per my research and per this, I found this out. And if you go to line such and such on page whatever, you'll see this, right? If you guys disagree or have any other information, like put your source in the comments and we can discuss it, right? Because I want this to be an open forum. I want this to be us exchanging information and growing, right? This is for our learning, right? Like all this social media stuff, like social media is good to clown around on and it's good to crack jokes and to troll, but I want this to be informative, right? We should be feeding each other to grow, you know, instead of letting the computer grow. Because right now we feeding AI and just doing TikTok shit, and, you know, soon all the computers gonna have all the jobs and they're gonna be making us bow to them, and we need to take back the control. Okay, let me get off my soapbox. And that's that. So let me see what else is going on. So last week, you know, my I don't want to say my Colorado Buffaloes because I'm not a Colorado Buffalo fan. I'm a Prime fan, you know. So the Ducks took a major, I'm sorry, not the Ducks. The Buffaloes took a major L. The Oregon Ducks opened up a can of whoop ass on Prime and them Buffaloes. They played a solid all around football game. The coach of Oregon, his pregame speech was intense, you know. It was an indirect shot at Prime. You know, he said, we're rooted in substance. He's like, they're out there for clicks. We're out here trying to get wins. Well, by you saying that, by you letting the cameras in the camera room for you to say that, means you're about them clicks, my brother. So you also about them clicks too. All right, because if that weren't the case, he would have just not even had the cameras in the room. But whatever, you know, what do I know? But now, man, Prime said all along that he was about 8 or 7 dogs short, you know. But I liked his message after the game. After the game, his message was, this is the worst where we're gonna be. So if you beat us, you better beat us now. I think that, you know, with the Oregon Ducks being in the Pac-12 along with Colorado, I think that when Prime gets his dogs and that college coach for Oregon is still there, I think Prime gonna make it a point. He gonna make it a point to run the score up on his squad no matter what, because you saw, here's the thing, man. In life, you do not want to wake up a sleeping giant. You don't want to wake up a sleeping giant, man. You know, it's best to let the giant sleep. But when you give people motivation unnecessarily to just whoop your ass, it's gonna be a long career for you, you know. Sorry, mom, my nose itch. I had to scratch my nose. For those that don't know, my mom doesn't like when I scratch my nose. I think it's because it makes it look like I'm doing the booger sugar, and I'm not. My nose just itch. So got that out the way. But Prime, I think what's gonna happen is, when Prime plays Oregon every year, he's gonna make it a point to run the score because the coach of Oregon said that, when they were whooping their ass at the end of the first half, he said, "No, we got more work to do." So I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So I think when Prime faces them Ducks, yo, I think next year and the year after, don't be surprised to see triple-digit scores. Man, I think Prime gonna try to run that shit up to 100. Let me see who's in the chat room, checking in on little old me. Pac-12 going away though, right? What's up? Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, man? Yeah, okay. Is the Pac-12 going away? I didn't know. I mean, I think you're right. I thought they were gonna keep. Oh, hey, Dime Fam. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to think. Consigliere. I'm trying to figure out who. Sorry, man. I should know this, man. Man, I feel bad for not knowing my Dime Fam up in here, man. Consigliere. Okay. I'm probably gonna see you at the Diamond. You're gonna be like, yeah, that was me. But oh, what's up, Zen? Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, yeah, Pac-12. I think you're right, man. Pac-12 is I don't keep up with all the how do I put it? I thought I know that you got teams that are leaving the Pac-12, right? And then right, you got teams that are leaving the Pac-12, but I thought I got to do my research on that, man. I'm not a Pac-12 expert, but I do know that what you got some teams that are going to the Big Ten or something like that. Yeah, I gotta look into that. But yeah, man. But like I said, I think no matter what, I think as long as Dion or Primetime is coaching them Buffaloes, I think that anytime he plays that coach from Oregon, I think he's gonna try to run the score up. So because he made it a point to do that. So, but like I said, I mean, I think with the rest of the season for Colorado, man, they got their work cut out for them, man. Like USC, Washington, and Utah, man. Yeah, them gonna be some tough ass games. Like, but it is what it is. You got to start from somewhere. So what else we got, man? Buffalo Bills. My Bills won last week. I didn't predict them to win. I thought the Bills were gonna take that L against the Commanders. I was looking at the point spread. I didn't like how the point spread was lining up, and I was like, yeah, I can't pick my boys, man. But in my Survivor League, I went with the Raiders at home, not knowing that was a home game for the Steelers. So the Steelers won that game, even when the referees tried to give Las Vegas that game. I don't know why I keep calling them Oakland, but but the Bills, man, they look good. But we got to play them Dolphins, and we all know what them Dolphins did last week. Them Dolphins put up 70 on the Broncos, man. They put up 70 points. They just didn't take their foot off the gas. They said, man, we putting up Madden score numbers, man. So the Bills are favored at home by 2. So I think it's a winnable game, but it's going to be a tough game. Dolphins offense is tough. It's going to be a tough game, man. Dolphins are good. Like, their offense is fire right now, Yeah. Now, if the Dolphins were, here's the thing. Now, if the Dolphins were favored going into that game by more than 5, I would take Buffalo all day. Because when a visiting team comes in and they're a favorite by let's take, for example, the Cardinals and the Cowboys, right? See, I knew to leave that game alone. I knew to leave that damn game alone, right? Because they gave the Cowboys 13 points coming into that game. They said Cowboys were going to cover 13 points in Arizona. And then they also lost, Diggs which was a big loss for their defense. And I thought to myself, man, I am not touching this game. I didn't predict the Cardinals winning, but I was like, man, it's going to be there's no way in the hell you're going to have a professional team come into another person's stadium and say, hey, they going to win by 13 or more points. Nah, that's personal. So that's one thing I look for with these point spreads and stuff is, if a team is coming in, if they're giving them a bogus, like crazy spread on the road at home, I'm like, nah, I can't mess with that. I mean, I can mess with it. I'll take the other team any day, or I'll take the home team in that situation. But anyways, what else we got going on, man? I got to wrap this up pretty soon because like I said, I got to get down to Anaheim to do these jokies. Big fight this weekend coming up. We got Canelo, Charlo. Who y'all got? Canelo versus Charlo, man. So originally, I thought my original assessment was I was gonna go Charlo. I was gonna go Canelo with the decision. But after I talked to my couple of my boxing expert buddies, they're saying Canelo gonna get knocked out this fight. They're saying this is the fight where Canelo gets knocked out. Because they said his last couple fights ain't look too hot. I mean, I watched his last fights. He ain't look too good in his last couple fights. And you gotta think, is he even hungry anymore? Right? Is he just trying to go in there just to do minimum damage, or to just is he trying to go in there just to do damage control just to get a check? Is he gonna go through the motions? Like, does he really want it like that? So I know a lot of people taking Charlo with a knockout. So I'm tuning into this fight. So I can't wait for that fight to go down. Also, man, I was watching a highlight clip. This is random. I was watching a highlight clip of Holyfield and George Foreman back in the day. I mean, this is probably like 90s, I think. And this was a fight where, Holyfield was whooping Foreman ass. Like he was just teeing off on Foreman. And back when I was watching that fight back in the day, I was like, man, Foreman getting tore up, But when I go back and watch it now, it's like, yo, that dude Foreman had a strong ass chin, man. Like Holyfield was hitting this dude with some haymakers. Like any heavyweight that got one of those punches from Holyfield would have dropped. But yo, this dude Foreman just kept holding on, man, and he didn't even hold on. He was just doing this. I saw one time he was getting hit so hard he was leaning forward. You would see him he tried to do this shit. He punching up, but he didn't fall down, man. So man, you got to give Foreman props, man. George Foreman had an iron chin, man. Iron chin. I think I saw a comment. Someone said his chin is made of vibranium. I was like, yeah, that's hilarious. All right, let me go ahead and do one that. Let's go ahead and get to the. I'm gonna go ahead and get to the DFS portion of the show so I can wrap this up right quick. Yeah, I gotta make moves. So here we go. So I had a little bit of success in DFS this past week. Not to brag, I had a little bit of success. I won $37. Doing the Captain Showdown mode. So I'm really gonna start really messing with the Captain Showdown modes more often, because all you gotta do is pick 6 out of 30 players, and you got to get the captain right. And depending on the pot size you play, you can win anywhere from a couple dollars to $1 million, right? So let me go and show y'all some of the results, right? So let me go ahead and just show y'all this right quick, so you guys don't think I'm just making this up. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. As my Uncle Sammy says, let me go ahead and pull up my iPhone. There we go. This is little old me right here. All right. So as y'all can see, this is me. I'm on the left. So the pot was split, right? It was a split pot. So like maybe like 30 people won like $3,000. Here's the thing though. The pot I played, so I played for a 1 milli pot, right? So I had to put up 15 for a chance at $1 million. And in this one, I put up 3 for a chance at like 40,000. I think first place prize was like 40K. So as y'all see, I was 8 points off. You know, I got David Montgomery in the right spot. I had Amon-Ra St. Brown in the right spot. I played Jared Goff. Goff could have got Dobbs. You know, excuse me, and DeGuara, the tight end, the backup tight end for Green Bay. The other dude got hurt, and DeGuara came in there and got 3 catches for like 15 yards. You know, so I was in line to do some damage. You know, and of course I played multiple tickets in this one, so I put up my total. I think the total amount I put in was like $20 or 20. I put in $24 and I won 37. So technically I won, what, you do the math, 37, 24. I won $13. Okay, big whoop, right? But I'm getting close. I'm gonna crack this shit. You mark my word. I'm gonna crack this shit before the end of the year. All right, because the thing I'm learning about DraftKings is you can't look at the data, right? You got to let the computer crunch the data, right? Even though our brains are computers, we don't crunch the numbers, right? Let a machine learning algorithm or let AI crunch on numbers, right? What you need to look at if you play DFS is the percent ownership. That is key. The projected ownership is key. That shit got me this. I did all this off of just projected ownership. Right? So the key is, my voice got high. I got like Shannon Sharp. Let me stop messing around. But now the key is projected ownership, right? I'm not gonna show y'all today because, like I said, I got to get ready to dip. But I'm gonna start focusing on. I'm gonna start focusing on breaking down stuff based on the projected ownership, right? Because the key is, what you have to do is you have to look at who everyone is picking, right? You have to look at who everyone else is picking, and then you have to pick the majority of who they pick, but then you got to be contrary on one pick and look for the least ownership in that category for that player that can go off. And when you do that, that's where the magic happened. That's where the magic happened, right there. And that's my babe trying to holler at me. Who's this right quick? Hey, babe, what's going on? Yeah. Talk for the rest of the show like him now. Oh, like us. Like Shannon. Hey, Skip. Hey, Skip. Skip. No, Skip. That was kind of loud. My bad. That was a little too high. No, Skip. My man Shannon Sharp, man. How you gonna be that swole and that big and let your voice get that high? You got to singing them high notes, man. Like, man, put some bass in your voice, champ. But now, man, like I said, everything is based on projected ownership. Projected ownership is the key. That's what I'm finding out about DraftKings, man. So, as I move forward and progress with each episode, I'm gonna like give you guys my hitter. I'm gonna give you guys my picks for the week based off of projected ownership. And it's a trend, man. It's real. It's all you gotta do is follow the patterns, man. You know, like follow, like the one thing I saw in the Captain Showdown mode was I look at the competition per each game night. So for example, for Thursday Night Football, I looked at the past Thursday Night Football games, right? Which was the Giants and the Niners, and then the Eagles and Vikings. And then the first one was the Lions and the Chiefs, right? So like I looked at that, and when you look at what positions were being played or what were in the winning lineups, it's pretty obvious, man. Right? Like you had 1 or 2 quarterbacks. You had one top owned receiver in every one. Every last one had one top owned receiver. Like maybe like 2/3 had 1 second owned receiver, right? Then you had to pick 1 tight end, right? So the game last night was the first time there was no tight end that was picked in the winning lineup. Instead, it was the Lions defense, as you guys can see right there at the bottom. But it's all, and the percentages are there, man. When you look at the percentages, it's like, oh wow, they're pretty much damn near the same every week. So I'm gonna break that down further next time. right now I gotta start breaking things down and get ready to go. So what else we got here? Let me see what my baseball's doing right quick. Let me see what the baseball shit is doing. Okay, I'm winning. Okay, I'm losing 50 cents. Okay, big whoop, but it's not over yet. It ain't over. So yeah, so that's that. Transition this. So let's see what else we got going on here, man. Yeah, so in conclusion, in closing, I got to make sure I wrap this up because I have a like I said, I have to get ready to head down to Anaheim, and traffic is not looking too good for a player right now. So yeah, I got to get my ass in gear. Pause. But here we go. Let me pull this up right quick. So this is the joint I'm doing. Let me go ahead and put my iPhone back up. There we go. So yeah, it's called let me put it up so I can read it on my computer screen. Yeah, it's called Gifted Hands Barbershop Presents Cut It Up Fridays, hosted by Tron Jones. Tron is a old OC comedy brethren of mine from back in the day when I was back in the OC doing comedy. You know, Tron puts on like he put on a bunch of shows back in the day, and he put me up. So he hit me up, you know, hit me up and was like, "Yo, you want to be on?" I'm like, "Cool," and now I'm on it. My man Jay White, also another OC vet. You know, we do a lot of comedy business together. You know, and I can't wait to see Al Green set because Al Green's a funny dude, man. I heard a lot of great things about Al Green. Very well respected in these comedy streets, and I want to see his set. So I'm excited to not only to get up and to cut some jokes, but also I want to see people work, man. So yeah, I'm gonna be here in about an hour. So I gotta get in gear, you know. But had to make sure I plugged that, man. Shout out to my bro, man, Tron Jones, for doing his thing, the comedy shows out in the OC. So yeah. So like I said, today was a pretty like light episode, but you know, we're progressing, we're moving through, and we're being consistent. And I gotta find something to do for the 100th episode, right? I gotta do something like it's gonna be some. I'm not sure I'm gonna do yet, but if you have any ideas, let me know in the comment section or hit me up. But I'm trying to think of what to do for the 100th episode. I've done this 100 times, man. That's crazy. It doesn't even feel like I've done it almost 100 times. It feels like I'm like on like time number 20, right? But when you're consistently doing something and you just doing it, it just add up. You know what I mean? So yeah, so next week will be episode 99, and after that is 100, and then we got to have something to, you know, commemorate that. So once again, man, thank y'all for tuning in to the 98th episode of Trippin with Theobold. Like I said, today was a special edition episode for the 6888. Like I said, I got more questions. Very little answers, but I'm gonna work on getting answers. So when I come back and do a special commemorative episode commemorating the 6888, hopefully the goal is to have information that I'm giving back to y'all as opposed to just asking questions, you know. So with all that being said, that's all, folks. I'm out of here. Peace. Yep. Trippin with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Trippin. Yep. Trippin. Trippin. Trippin with Theobold.
Trippin with Theobold.